Welcome to your magical moon. Welcome to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer, Moon in Cancer, Sun in Scorpio. We are at a second decade Sagittarius signature. What that means is that the Sun has entered the second decade of Neptune. And the moon now appropriately has kicked off the Sagittarius signature, aka if the full moon is 180 and the Scorpio signature, the closing quincunx is 210 degrees from the sun and the moon. Then of course the Sagittarius signature is going to be 240 degrees before the third quarter square, that is 270 degrees to conclude the transit. So the second decan of Cancer is, of course, ruled by Pluto. So the understanding of this Cancer moon is intensifying and deepening the layers of occult / hidden mysteries and observations and insights. Mind you, Scorpio's wisdom, okay, and Cancer is sincerity. So you're coming into a sincere or psychic understanding of this awareness of wisdom, aiding and facilitating the transformation of your physicality, of your being, of your consciousness. All right, taking apart your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. So please enjoy that. This is definitely going to prepare not only to complete the transit, but this is the last point of harvest. All right, so definitely a lot to look forward to. Once again, we take into account the 240 degree nature of this aspect, which will ascend this harvest into directing what we feel in order to intensify this transformation. And of course, given the awareness of psychological or psyche or pure wisdom, the ninth house Cancer helps us now understand, seeing into the power, the direction of the feelings we apply this wisdom towards. All right, it's going to bring to light unseen or psychic or metaphysical mechanics that actually help you learn how much more to utilize the abilities of this psychic potential, especially coming in to the moon in Capricorn. All right. Certain reflections for this transit right off the bat will key in the nature of the moon opposition to Pluto coming at the end of this transit, bringing a mini boss battle, but also with this intensity of opposition, preparing for a very crucial transformation at relative to the cycle, the breakthrough of this transit. Okay, that being said, just to give you guys some insight, you'll hear people say, why don't we have 13 months? Why don't we have 13 months? Right? Like, the moon is a 28-day lunar cycle, so that should create 13 months. Actually, the reason why we go for a 12-month model, because I used to really give into, obviously October, right, is an 8, octo 8, so why do we have that as a 10th month? And it's easy to give into certain theories about, oh, people are trying to hide stuff from you, but actually the science behind that is because when you base the cycle off, the 28-day moon cycle is not the lunar cycle from the sun and the moon. The 28-day lunar cycle is the cycle between the moon and the earth. So when we're working on calendrical systems, the calendrical system and the time system is our way of balancing how much light we have. Right? I mean, that might not be all of it, but the way I see it, the main facet of this system is to account for the seasons and how we have equal light or more day or more light, right? So the reason why we don't go off that 28-day cycle is because of the sun-moon cycle, right? So relative to the moon, which rotates or revolves around the earth, right? That's a 28-day cycle. But when we now study the moon cycle with the sun, It doesn't revolve around the sun. But when we look at, of course, through the zodiac, the transits with the earth being the perspective, we see that it is always a 30-day cycle between the sun and the moon. That's why we have the 30 days. And people who kind of hit you with this rhetoric about, oh, it's not supposed to be like, they don't know that. They never factor that in. They never tell you that. They tell you all this sorts of mystical stuff. I was into it. I never really spoke out about that because I wanted to research, and that's what the research found. So anyone who will ever tell you, oh, it's not supposed to be 30 days, ask them about the sun and the moon's 30-day cycle. They don't know it, or they don't know how to incorporate it. Just something to keep you in mind. All right. So with that being said, let us respect the math, and knowing that this is, of course, another lunar cycle. The moon opposes Pluto in Capricorn like every 28, 30 days relative to now, of course, just that transit there. The last time we had this opposition was Libra season with the square. Now we're having it trine Scorpio. So this is going to facilitate more awakening and breakthrough as we deepen our awareness of wisdom. And a lot of Scorpio season, of course, in unveiling the hidden mysteries, the occult, is what's going to facilitate this supernatural transformation. All right. And what makes a lot of this transformation supernatural is everything you're going to feel, right? The moon in Cancer doesn't want you to just feel. It wants you to understand the psychic nature of your feelings. It wants you to understand the nature of the subtle psychic vibrations that you are able to sense as an extension of your own physical senses, which can now be your eyes and ears outside of just the physical. Remember, this society, I'm not going to blame society, but as a consequence of what has been mainstream and taught in this society, you are made to believe you are just a material suit and body, and that you don't have the means really to perceive with extra senses. It's called extrasensory perception. This has been one of the biggest lies in human history, to make you believe that this is something that is just, bullshit or delusion. Extrasensory perception is not a physical mechanic that could be gauged and measured with devices, which now brings a nonlinear nature to it, and it's not the most consistent, using outdated, stupid physical methods that we think are superior, which is laughable. All right. So that's going to open up space for there to be people who can mislead, deceive people. It's not regulated. Anything that's not regulated doesn't have the order. And if you're made to believe that it's not even real, that's going to be like a wild, wild west. That does not mean that extrasensory perception isn't real. You've experienced it. Maybe you've been made to feel that that experience is a coincidence. Remember, the model and system with which that they want you to base whether something is delusional or not is delusional. That's one of the biggest false presuppositions, that, our system of scientific knowledge is the truth. It's not the truth. It's a theoretical model. It's not the truth. It's an opinion. It's an expert, mainstream, ethos-backed opinion that we're learning has nothing to do with reality, and just people who feel like they know the ways of the world, post-colonialism. Yeah, I'm bringing that in here too. Anyway, other than that, you're going to get your own personal psychic understanding, and that's what Libra is for, to balance, of course, the emotional and the mental, because sometimes we can be clouded by our own bias, and we can think, these feelings are real, but that's totally different when you have unique personal feelings that balance with real world evidence. This is, of course, what helps to grow the discovery of things that in time past may have been overlooked. And that's what makes you revolutionary. So be mindful of that, because that Pluto opposition is going to be that harsh, outdated. You just picture Pluto in Capricorn as an old ass geezer who, in his time, he was responsible for a lot of innovations and transformations in the system and culture. But in his time, there are also a lot of backwards social observations, expectations, sexism, racism, and all sorts of fake science, because in the time it was real for them, but now with new innovation, now a lot of what in their time was a great discovery now was actually stupid. Okay, and that's Pluto. All right, and that's not Pluto the planet. That's an archetype you can see with that planet there. Where the last time Pluto was there, we had the United States become a nation. So everything from that last time to now is taking all the sins, all the development there, and it's throwing it in the trash. And that's not going to be easy for the older generation. Get like Pluto Sages, all the people born after 95 in the late 80s, 90s. It's easy for them to get rid of this because this is not y'all world. You did not come here to pioneer the old shit. All right, that's why Pluto Scorpio, that 80 early 90 period, is a reset point. And now that it's coming into Aquarius to actually break through the ground, we're starting to see revolution, just like last time Pluto was in Aquarius in the 1700s. Haitian Revolution, French Revolution, the poor eating the rich, the beginning of, like, you know, the industrial age. Maybe that might have happened before, actually way before, but you know, coming into a more information age around these periods. And of course, the most important part of this, the death of monarchies and now the greater proliferation of democracy. Oh, how we all fell for that bullshit. Of course, it was needed at the time. And let me not say that its roots weren't in some case needed. All right, a lot of this was because of out of need before over time it just completely corrupted, just like monarchy was corrupted. Okay, we're just seeing the cycle come back around. But forget all these world events. This is about you in this reality, carrying forth history and making sure not to repeat the mistakes. Make sure that in these very prolific understandings that the ninth house nature of Cancer will show you the ascended nature of, right? This is going to prepare you to complete the transit by taking this on stage, Moon in Leo, and coming into your high score. Okay, once the Moon is in Leo in the next couple of days, we're now presenting the completion of our transformation on stage on the first social sign. So the harvest was Moon in Taurus, Moon in Gemini, Moon in Cancer. Those are individual signs. So the moon there is understanding the activation of your individuality, which said activation is the harvest of the transformation of your social expression and how you bring that individuality towards others. And that's what we're going to get ready to complete. The moon will also trine Neptune and just completely wow you with crazy synchronicities that align to a lot of intuitive understandings that may have surfaced earlier to put them all together by the time the moon goes in Virgo. And of course, the initial trine to Saturn, while also grand water trining Mars and Mercury, have aligned your emotions up to this point to prepare to direct you of where and how to feel and how to now discern with these feelings the nature of your environment and of course how you are transforming your own self. Of course, the sextile to Jupiter and the sextile that we're going to have to Uranus will also influence very uniquely the quality of feeling, all right, actually getting a feeling, a sense of the physical senses that we have activated with that full moon. So it's going to open the door out and take that unlocking of this extra dimensional energy, and you're going to feel it now. This is going to help you learn how to direct it through your intentions. The most important part about this transit, though, is the sun is officially opposite Jupiter. Mind you, we had a 0 degree conjunction about 6-7 months ago in Aries. Well, that 0 degree conjunction has now matured into a 180 degree opposition between the sun and Jupiter and subsequently the sun and Uranus. And this is where it begins, y'all. The financial revolution. This is where, of course, we start to see the first proof of our evolution. Congratulations. It's the most important part about this transit. You're going to now be aware, sun, of the evolution. Jupiter, we sparked, and then 3 months from then in Leo, when the sun was in Leo, the seeds broke through the ground, square Jupiter, and now it's opposite Jupiter. It's time. Congratulations. So you're going to enjoy that. Even if this revolution financially looks like you losing all your money, you know, it's going, for some of you, you're going to lose it. For some of you, you're going to gain it. This is really just going to change the direction if it needs to be changed. If you're on the right direction, it's going to add more to it. So be willing to adapt. And that's really what I got for this transit. All right. Make sure you click the link in the description box below, check out my Hipsy. I got Ask the Peace Dealer a question. If you have a question that I can answer with your chart, that's just $40. And then I also have I brought back the tarot drawers. When I do my paper call, you can call in per minute, but until then, you can just ask me a question, or if you want me to pull 1 tarot card or 3 tarot cards, you could click that link below. I also have, of course, the live readings if you want to pre-order before the broadcast. I'm going to do, of course, the Air Tribe today and the Water Tribe tomorrow. And of course, show me some love if you want to, hook up my tip jar. I got the At the Peace Dealer is my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, and of course I have the tip jar in the link below. The dollars, the $2 or $3, it adds up. You guys really hook it up. So I just wanted to remind you guys once again, you stay blessed as always. Peace.